We're speaking this morning to Seri Wati Iku. She is from Cocos Keeling Island's Visitor Center. Thank you so much, Wati, for speaking to us on the Light Breakfast. How are you feeling?
Yeah, feeling pretty good. Thank you for having us today. So yeah.
All right. Now, Wati, a lot of people, including myself, we don't even know where Cocos Keeling Island is, but it's an island that's part of Australia, right? Can you tell us what is unique about your island?
It is an island that is in the middle of the Indian Ocean, and it's in external territory that is part of this. Well, what is unique about it? It's like people see it as just people don't think about Cocos as but it's an island that's part of Australia, and it's hard to explain, but it's so I guess it's we're closer to Indonesia, to Malaysia than we are to Australia, but we are in external territory that is part of Australia. So people find that they don't expect to find like a Malay kampong in the middle of the island that is governed by Australia. So they hear about it. You're Malay, but you live here on an island that's like governed by. People find intriguing about us out here. Is that? What else do I want to say about
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, there's a Malay kampong in the middle of an Australian island.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So there are actually a lot of
like and then
so there are a lot of islands that make up Cocos Keeling, but only two main islands where the Cocos Malays reside. Is that true?
Well, we're made up of two atolls, which is one is North Keeling Island, and that's like a separate atoll to the main Cocos Atoll, which is in the southern part. So, and the Cocos Keeling Island, it's made up of 27 coral islands. So, but only Home Island and West Island are inhabited. Home Island is where the local Cocos Malay people live, and West Island is where you have all the government buildings and the government workers that come up here that provide the services that we have on the island. So like your school teachers, your government officials, all the buildings are over on the West Island. So people work predominantly over on West Island, and all the other islands are just people go there for weekends, for camping, and just to have fun and enjoy your water activities. And
okay.
And Direction Island is and we have Direction Island where we were was awarded the best beach for tourism award. Nice. That was awarded the best beach award. So yes. So that's one of the main attractions for people when they come here. They go visit Direction Island, they enjoy the day there, they swim, they snorkel, they have fun and they enjoy themselves.
But the interesting question here is, how did the Cocos Malay community end up living in Cocos Keeling Island?
I think that goes back as far as how the island was first discovered. It was first discovered by William Keeling back in 1609. So, and he just discovered it, and then he moved on from it. But and then I think back in the 1820s, 1825, when John Cornish Ross, he just stopped by there, and with the intention that he was going to come back to the island, bring his wife, his family, his parents, and then live there. But then he came back to the islands a couple of years later. He discovered it was already settled. It was Alexander Hare that came before and settled there. He had with him his crew of sailors and 40 women, like a harem of 40 women with him. So yes, but apparently all volunteered. So there's a volunteer of 40 women, and so when the Cornish Rust came, and then hair was already there. And so he tried to take that away from her, and like a feud between the hair and the Cornish Rust. But eventually the women from that hair had moved and had, found mates with, coupled up with the sailors from the Cornish Rust cruise. And Alexander Hare ended up leaving the island. And so I think by the time the Cornish Rust had the copra plantation there, and then he needed more workers. So that was when he, I guess he tried to attract more workers to come from Malay, like from Malaysia, from Indonesia, and around. So that was how we all become. Like we all ended up here. Our ancestors were workers that Cornish Rust had attracted to come from other places.
Okay. What were some of the tasks assigned to the first Cocos Malays when they were first brought into the island?
So it was, I guess the first they did, the major industry back then when the Cornish Rust was there was copra. So it was going out to find coconuts and started the actual production of copra. But before that, they needed to build their own boats.
What's copra? Sorry.
Copra is coconut, dry coconuts. They use it to make oils and and other stuff. So so they collect the coconut, they husk it, they deshell it, and then they dry it. They dry it and they make coconut oil out of it and other coconut products. So that was one of the imports that happened during the Cornish Rust times. So and then I guess so they had to build their own boats, which they sail so to get to these other islands to get coconuts. So we call that the boat the jugong. So it's a traditional boat, all handmade, and a lot of labor. But we still have the jugongs now, but now we just use it as recreation. And we have a sailing club today that has been developed, and they have jugong races every month, and it's turned into quite a recreational sport.
That's nice. But what generation of Cocos Malay are you, Wati?
I am 4th generation.
Wow.
So
But how many generations has it been since the first Malays settled on Cocos?
Oh, I don't know. It'll be like 4. So I'm 4th. I don't know. Close to probably 8 or 9 generations. I remember my late great grandmother, who was talking about her father and her grandfather. So close to 8 or so generations of Cocos Malay since the first settlement. So we've been here a long time, and we're here to stay for much, much longer.
But has the islands changed drastically in terms of landscapes or new buildings or infrastructure since 8 or 9 generations ago?
Oh yes, most definitely. But you've grown from your basic coconut island, like island filled with coconut trees, to having from houses made of sticks and coconut fronds to actual houses being made of wood and concrete and stuff. And we've got schools now, we've got hospitals and airports, and it's changed the face of the island drastically. But we're also finding that as time goes by, as years goes by, that with coastal erosions, that we do have to protect our coastline, otherwise we'll see our islands disappearing. So we're acting towards preserving the island in terms of, your erosion, coastal erosions and everything. So, and yeah, so I guess, yeah, that's about it for that.
Have you ever been to Malaysia?
But yes, I have. My husband is from Malaysia.
Ah, okay.
He's yeah. So we go Malaysia every year. So every year we go back, and it's been a year since we've been back there, and yeah, we miss the family over there. So can't wait to go back once everything goes back to whatever normal is now. So yeah.
But the COVID situation there in Cocos Islands, not severe, is it?
Oh, we don't have any cases. We're COVID free on Cocos. So, because we closed our borders, we're like, we're isolated, and
Yeah.
we kept that. And that's how we've kept it. We closed everything down, and it was hard for us here, but we had to keep our people safe, the community safe. So I think closed for 6 months or so that we didn't have any visitors to Cocos, no visitors to the island, and we were just us in our own little bubble, and then and we are COVID free.
That's good. That's good. Now you said that your husband's from Malaysia and you come back to Malaysia once a year before COVID. And you look Malaysian. Like if I were to speak to you now without you speaking in your Australian accent, I would think that you are Malaysian, right? So do you yourself feel like you identify more as Malaysian? But because you grew up and you were born in Cocos Island, do you identify more as an Asian or an Australian?
Oh, that's a hard one. I I identify myself as a Cocos Islander. Like, yeah. That's if you ask, I think, yeah, you ask most people and you say, what are you? And he goes, oh, are you Australian? He goes, yeah, we're Australian Cocos Islanders. That's how I refer to myself. That's how I see myself. Is I am Malay. I'm from Cocos Island, so I'm a Malay Cocos Islander. So yes, and
All right.
I think that's why people keep saying like, oh, you speak English. I guess yes, we speak English. Like, I know we live on an island, but and then they see like, oh, you speak English very well. Like, yes.
Especially when you come back to Malaysia, right? Do people start speaking to you in Malay?
In Malay, but then like, they speak Malaysian and we speak Cocos Malay, and it's so different. The dialect is so different. And I mean, like when I first came to Malaysia, that was, I know, back in 2004-5, and because my husband is from Terengganu, and my first time there, and I'm like, what are you speaking? And he goes,
oh, but Terengganu, they have a different dialect as well, like different accent.
And
yeah.
Like I'm trying to, like, the Malaysian Malay, and then there's Cocos Malay, and then like go to Terengganu, and it's like, okay. And I'm like, well, let's just speak English. So yes. Yeah, but yeah.
Can you give us a feel of how Cocos Malay sounds like? Maybe you can sell Cocos Keeling Island to us in Cocos Malay.
I don't know. How do I speak Cocos Malay?
Apa yang menarik tentang Cocos Island?
Do you go and speak Malay on me? Yang menarik. See, we don't say menarik. We just say so apa yang bagus, apa yang bagus yang paling bagus di Cocos. That's how you say it. It's I don't know. It's that's what how I say it to my friends. I say it. It's mainly a spoken language, and it's very rough, and it's not sexy. There's no way you can sexy it up. Like, when you speak Malaysian, like, it's nice. and sweet. And then once you like, you know, it's so I don't know, it's like rough kind of language.
Okay,
and
maybe I'll ask
yeah.
you a question in English, and then you can reply in Cocos Malay.
Okay, we can try that game. Go.
Okay. What are you having for lunch later, Wati?
Lunch nanti saya makan mie goreng.
It sounds Malay. We understood it. Like,
It
what is
does.
different? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. It is. It's different. Like it's. If you hear me having a conversation with my friend from Cocos Malay and we speak Cocos, they the first thing they would say is like, "Oh, are you from Indonesia?" Because it's more Indo, like, you know, that style. Yeah, but and it's like, it's so rough because I was with tourism where we've just completed our oral history project with the income in collaboration with the Shire, and we've had to do some translation, and I'm sitting there going, if I translate it like, you know, using non-Cocos Malay words, it would just sound totally different, and it's like, but I want to make it sound sexy and nice and not rough, and it was just, yeah, it was a difficult task that I found, and yeah.
Is it a subject?
Yeah.
Is it a subject that you learn in school though, Cocos Malay, or is it something that you
it's
picked up
not.
from the elders?
It's not taught in school, so it's like, it's what you grow up speaking. You grow up speaking with
It's a mother
speaking
tongue.
it,
Yeah.
and yeah, it is. And like, you know, and then at school, when I was growing up at school, they were teaching Indonesian as a second language, and we find that like, why are you teaching us Indonesian? We speak Cocos Malay, but then as we were learning it, it is different, and yeah, but it's and because it's something, it's a spoken language, and it's, you know, and it's hard to, I find it really hard to write in Cocos Malay, and yeah, and it's yeah, and like, you know, because kids now, like, you know, kids grow up speaking English at home, you know, and it feels like it's getting lost, the Cocos Malay language, and it shouldn't be, because yeah, and it's because it's part of us. Yeah. And like, you know, with my son, I try to make it, as soon as he comes home, it's Malay at home. But then I switch up and I speak English to him, and then he goes, but you said no English at home. Just to try and get him to speak it. And yeah, it's because if you don't, you know.
I understand, yeah, because
right.
we have a lot of Chinese dialect as well. Even here in Malaysia, we speak a lot of Chinese dialect, and I speak Hokkien at home when I was growing up. But now my kids, they don't know Hokkien anymore. It's a dying language or the dialect. Yeah.
So it's
so,
like,
but are there people on Cocos Island that still only speaks Cocos Malay?
Yes. A lot of the elders there, like my grandmother, she only speaks Cocos Malay, and yeah, my it was funny when my mother-in-law came up from Terengganu, and it was just like listening and watching them speak. It's like, you know, it's two different languages almost, and one speaking Cocos Malay, one speaking Heron language, and it's. Yeah, so that's all they ever know, like, you know, Cocos Malay, and it's, yeah, and some of the words that they use that we don't use anymore, and like, you know, my son and my nephews, and when my grandmother speaks to them, and they're like, what are you saying? I don't understand. And because it's the words that, you know, that they haven't heard before, and so yeah, I guess like I think we should be able to, like, you know, to actually keep that going and not lose that, because it's like your identity on it, you know, it's what identifies you as Cocos Malay, and yeah.
Right. Now, Wati, finally, when COVID is said and done, why should we here in Malaysia go visit you guys at Cocos Keeling Island?
Oh, number one, the beaches here. If you have to come, just yeah, come see the beaches, because I've been to your beaches and it's like, yeah, your sand is not white. It's not white and it's not sand. It's like if you don't come to Cocos, step on the sand, walk on our beaches, you haven't experienced beaches. Like, yeah, that was the thing. And crystal clear blue waters, because yours is like, I don't know, kopi tak jadi your air, or something like that. And it's like, if you want to see crystal clear blue waters and white sand, come and visit us. And then when you come to Home Island, you will experience how, you just, you get off the ferry, you come to Home Island, and it's like, it's a Malay kampong. And then you see that, and then that's how you get to see what I'm talking about. And so not only come for the beaches, but come to see how us Cocos Malay live on Home Island. It's a combination of the Western cultures that we are exposed to every day in our working life, and then our home life with what we were brought up with. So it's I reckon it's a good combination. So yeah, you should come visit us.
We will definitely, after this thing is over and done with.
Yes.
we were gonna go, like, before, in our plans. This was we were supposed to go visit you guys and visit your homes and all that, but then now we're down to just speaking to you on Zoom.
I know, it's like, yeah, it's just want everything to, we won't go back to normal, but
yeah.
hopefully normal tied to it, and like, we can go out and travel, and people overseas can come and see us and visit us. And right now we are still very much dependent on the tourists from Australia. So it's
Well, actually, what is the main form of economy on the island now? Is it tourism?
Yeah, it is just tourism, and it's like, because but as we're Australia opening back, Australia can't go overseas, and the travel, like the amount of inquiries we've had about people coming to the Cocos is like 10 times what we normally would get. So it's like, our islands are full of people wanting to discover what we are about. So yeah, it's great. It's great to see so many different faces again, since we didn't see anybody for close to 6 months, and it was just us.
Yeah.
So yeah.